Hello, how much money is needed for swing trading? I will say as low the maximum of the maximum between, or the maximum of the minimum the brokerage firm you want to create your account with, the minimum you are allowed to open the account with, and the stock, one share, the price of one share that of a stock that you want to swing trade, the maximum between the two is how much you need to swing trade. For instance, if your brokerage firm allow you to open your account with $0 and the share of a stocks that you are interested in investing in is $70, for instance, let's just open Walmart here, $69 or $68, then you only need about $70 in your account to swing trade. So the amount of money you need to buy one share of a stock that you are interested in, and the minimum that your brokerage firm allow you to open your account with, the maximum between the two is pretty much how much you need to start swing trading, in my opinion. And when I start trading, in fact, I will say what my husband and I did was more position trading. We used to just invest about $100 of our allowances, if that's what we were able to come up with, and then we will invest in penny stock. So because we can buy multiple share of penny stocks, and my husband will sell them few months later, I will hold on to mine even longer, and some of them bankrupt on me because I'm more of an investor. I can hold onto a stock for a longer period of time, but my husband will have it. But both of us, when we'll buy around 52 weeks low for those stocks, and then when they are close to their 52 weeks high, we will sell them for profit. So it was more like a position trading. But we are buying penny stocks, and we are working about $100. I don't recall how much the minimum set by Charles Schwab. That's where we create the account with, to invest, to have our brokerage account and Roth account. We work with Roth account. We trade in Roth account, and I invest long term in my brokerage account with them. But I do know that when I create an account for my husband, I put $50 in it. So when I create custodial account for my kids, I don't know how much we put in it upfront. But again, these days I know that we can transfer maybe $60 or so, $50 and up, but I just don't know if there is a minimum required that you can transfer. And I do know that sometimes I transfer about $10 into the account because it was a gift for one of my kids to put it in her account. So I don't know if there is a minimum that you are required when you open the account to put it in it with Charles Schwab, but it can vary from brokerage to brokerage firm. So the minimum you are allowed to open an account with, you can do that. If you are opening a business account though, the requirement could be different. For instance, 1 year I called Charles Schwab and asked them if I can open a business account with them, and they said the minimum is $100,000 because we have a business that I like to have a brokerage account for, and that's why they told me. So I don't know what the requirement is, but to have a Roth IRA for yourself, if you're an employee, and to have a brokerage account for yourself, individual brokerage account, or a joint brokerage account for you and your partner, your spouse, I don't know if there is a minimum required. If there is one, it could be maybe around $100, but then after that you can transfer as much as you want to transfer, or as little as, I don't know if there is a minimum to do those online transfer to the account, from your checking account to the account. But just keep in mind that if you are buying one share of a stock, you have to set the minimum profit that you need to reach before you sell low as well. I can take my kids example. My kids, when they start swing trading in 2024, at the beginning of 2024, they have, at the beginning of January, they have about 3,000, let's just say 3,700 or 2,800 in their account. But then, yeah, beginning of the account was about 3,700 for age. Just an example here for one of the kids, and I told them that to swing trade, but then I gave them some parameters to work with. I helped them find the list of stocks that they will trade, and they were large stocks. They have most of their funds in dividend stocks, because in 2023 they invest in dividend stocks, so they have most of their funds in dividend stocks, but they have about $1,000 cash or so in their account. So, and I gave them some parameters to work with. They found the stocks that they are going to swing trade. They are not the same as the stocks that they were investing in for dividend income purposes. And then I told them that to pick, I come up with $300. I told them to per trade to spend about $300 per trade. That means to buy a stock, they will spend about $300 on it. So they need to narrow down their stocks to, stocks that cost about $300, that is less than $300. And Walmart is one of them. I think Walmart was higher, but they split their shares sometime during the year. But Walmart is one of them, and they can buy multiple share. But this is my own list, where they have their own list, and we have a lot of stocks in common as well. But I have more stocks than they do. So, and they know that they are going to spend about $300 per trade. And I told them that if they have about $5 profit, to sell it. So they work with that. They work with that within that parameter up to now. And when it's about $5 or so, they will sell it. Sometimes they might have a little bit more profit. Sometimes they might have a little bit less than $5 profit, and I'll okay for them to sell it. And the reason why I said those is that they can practice swing trading and learn it. So when you are working with a small account, your profit, it's good to set your profit small so that you can consistently swing trade to keep improving your skill. But you don't need a lot of money. So the example is the kids have about $3,700 in each one of their account, and they will have about $1,000 available to trade with, to swing trade with, and that's what they use in this particular account to swing trade. And you can see the purchases, and I have an extra of the transaction for this particular child, and you can see. And along the way, when a dividend stocks may have about $5 profit, they will sell it to free more fund, to have more cash to swing trade with. But you can see how much they're spending per trade. It's around $300, and this one they bought 2 shares for about $500 pretty much, and I don't know how much they sold it. So they bought it on the 15th of March and sold it on the 21st of March for, let's bring a calculator, $513.98 minus $499.66 for $14.32. So when you are swing trading with a small capital, you can set small profit, minimum profit target, so that you can sell it and repeat the process to keep improving your skill. But yes, you don't need a lot of money to start swing trading. You can open your brokerage account. I would suggest you do it in your Roth IRA to start with though. But if you want to do it in a brokerage account, you can do it in a brokerage account. That is taxable. And you can swing trading a little by little, even if that's just with $100 to start with, because that's how my husband and I started trading. We try to invest, position trade, a combination of the two, but just as little as $100 in our Charles Schwab brokerage account. And just how much the brokerage account can allow, the brokerage firm can allow you to initially put in the account, you can start swing trading with that if it's enough to buy few share of the stocks you want to trade. And here they have stocks that they bought for dividend purposes that they are selling to free more fund. General Mills will be one of those dividend stocks they purchase. But you can see those are dividend stocks that they sold. But CDNS is a stocks they purchase for trading purposes, and that person purchased one share of it. And on the 30th of January, and we can see when they sold it. But along the way, we can come across dividend stock that they sold to free more of their funds. They sold it almost a month later for $301.85, and they bought it for, yeah, maybe they sold it for about $5. We can do that calculation. 301.85 minus 293.58. Okay, $8 profit right there. So $8 profit divided by 283.58 times 100 is 2% return on that 1 month time frame, and about $1,000 available to trade with while they are selling their dividend stocks to free more funds. And you can see the dividend stocks that they were selling, and pretty much that is the more fund that they are freeing into their buckets to have available to trade with. And little by little it will increase the cash available while decreasing the portion of their $3,700 that was tied to the dividend stock. And that is just, and you can see the how much the child was spending buying stocks is around $300, and the profit is less than $10 when selling it. And depending on how much the share costs, they are buying just one and selling it. So they sold it, few days later they bought it again and sold it a few days later, but maybe about $8 or so. And this is the dividend stock stocks that they purchased for trading purposes. Anything they purchased this year was more for trading, swing trading purposes, no dividend stocks. Some of them could pay dividend, but it was not the reason why they purchased them, but to swing trade. And they purchased those, and you can see all within the same days or a few days apart, but this one was sell. So those the same day, and when we total them, we can see how much the child spent on that. That is about $1,048 that day to purchase 1, 2, 3, 4 different stocks, some 2 share and some 1 share. And few days later, they're able to sell one of them and purchase another stock. And I don't think they spend more than $1,000 in any particular day trading. And here we can see they sold multiple stocks that day. 1, 2, and 3 are the stocks they were purchasing to swing trade. The IP is a dividend stock that freed them more $40 worth of additional funds to trade with. But if this, we can see that they made about 1,100. They sold and cashed about 1,100 that day, and they spent about the same a week or 2 weeks prior. So you can see that. And here, yeah, not the same day, but the same day they spent about $500, in about $800. If we take, yeah, about $843 to buy stocks to swing trade, and that same day they sold something to free about $291 to work with. And few days later, this one that they bought 2 shares of, they were able to sell it again. That CDNS. So this particular one, the child is spending well over that $300 benchmark that I gave her. But you can see that they were following that rule at the beginning, but as they were progressing, they were naturally going over it, because she noticed that when she buy more share, she can make more profits than when she just buy 1 share. And I think originally, if we go down, she bought 1 share because she saw 1 share here. She bought 1 share, but then it was around March. But then as she was progressing, she was risking more by spending as double that amount, because one, she has it available in the account. As she was selling more of her dividend stocks to free more funds. But it can just tell you the risk that the child is willing to take as she's learning. And she does have orange color in her personality. Among her first 2 personality, orange is there. So orange color people tend to be more risky. So naturally she's taking more risks there by spending. If she has $3,700 worth of account and she's spending $14,600 for this, like divided by, let's just say $3,700 is about 16% of her account. So it is quite a bit of a risk there. When I went with 300 divided by 37, is about 8%. It's because if I go with 5% rule that I use myself with them, it does not allow them to buy much share. That would be they are going to spend about 185 per trade. Therefore I say 300, which is already 8% of their account. And yes, she easily went double that by using by spending twice as much. So she sold it for 629.79, and that has the fee taken out of it already, minus 614. She made about $15 on it. So she knows that when she buys more share, she makes more profit. The profit she will make per share can multiply for her. But you can see that, you know, it's a small account, and that allows the child to learn swing trading. And some of the stocks that she purchased and that went down, she's making some dividend on it. And we can take a look at that particular one, and you can see it's down. She purchased it around March 28th or so, and it went down. So but while it's down, it's making profits. We do not sell stock at a loss. Therefore, we are careful about the stocks we trade. If I open maximum monthly chart, you can see that that is an uptrend stock that she's trading, but in a short term it has the ups and the down. So but is quite on its natural uptrend line. When I'm looking at the monthly chart, and we can go back to the daily chart, 1 year daily chart, but yeah, so she makes some dividend, she earns some dividend on it. And she's with these stocks as well, she spent way more than I originally set rule for them to, because again she thinks she can make quicker profits and sell it faster. So she bought it, and the next day it reached that $5 minimum profit, she sold it. And if we try to see how much she made on this one, 691.cc, about $5, and she sold it. So by doing that, she's learning to swing trade. And that APH, if we take a look at it, APH, we can see is on an uptrend there. She's the one using the blue arrow, and the CDNS, yeah, she's buying them with the, marking them with the blue arrow as well. Yeah, and how much money do you need to start swing trading? As little as you can afford to spend on a particular stock that you want to swing trade, or as little as the brokerage firm allow you to open your account with. And if that same amount that you can open an account with is high enough to buy some share of stocks that you're interested of swing trading, you can start with that. And little by little, when you sell it, you sell a minimum profit. When you sell it, you use the money to buy another one again. And just little by little you improve on your skill. But just know that when you buy small number of share, the profit, you need to be reasonable with the profit too, and be okay with small profit as well. And you can just keep improving your skills and keep adding more fun to your account to have more fun to work with. Thank you. Thank you. We thank you very much for watching our videos. We thank you very much for your time. We thank you very much for all your comments. We thank you very much, you all that subscribe to our channel. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways you can save money and different ways you can make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your need. And swing trading stocks is one way to make money. Thank you. I'm Afiavi Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and NinaSoap.com, our blog. Thank you.